He also had access to some of the prop material and some of the, I mean, there was stuff laying around all over the place. So, taking photographs of things and filming different things and filming all kinds of footage inside the dredge, that wouldn't have been difficult while we were up there with our crew. Because a lot of times it was just empty. So, you can imagine how that might have occurred. And the same way he had access to some of my private things, which I would bring with me in my backpack or whatever, and I'm going to show you one of them. Okay, this thing is mine. This is mine. This belongs to me. And for some, it's very, very obviously, at some point during our time shooting, this thing went missing. Must have gone missing. I didn't really pay that much attention all the time of everything that was in my bag and what was not in my bag. But when I was able to get it back, this thing, this little piece of paper. Okay, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that, but this little Post-it note, because I kind of, again, the circumstances of how I got this back, I don't want to go into, but this was still stuck to it, which I think was probably because it wasn't supposed to be, but I did not put that on there, and that's not my handwriting. However, look, as a writer, especially on a project this big that goes on this long, it's not that uncommon for me to, create something like this, where I would just get an old journal, beat it up, and start writing over as if I were the character, in order to sort of get myself into the mindset of what it would be like to be that character. So this is just an invention of my own. Okay, that's what this is, and so and I carried it around with me for a couple of years. I carried it around with me. So that's what that is. That's where it came from. All right, so here's the big question. I'm down to the end of my little list of things here I need to go through. All right, let me just kind of move this up a little bit. All right, this isn't rehearsed or anything. I just want to make sure I get this right because it is important. All right, we know the place is real, the dredge. The town is real. All right. The ghost, the sort of urban legend of the ghost has been around for, 50 years. So we know that part of it is, in its own way, I guess, real. Okay, all those things that are purported on this Skeleton Creek is Real site, and in the book as well, that's all based on things that are either happened or legends. But the real question is the story Skeleton Creek, is it real? Did it come from real events? Did it come from something that actually happened? From interviews I did. I got to tell you this. I have done, over the course of about a year, I interviewed so many people and talked with so many people up there in Sumter, people who actually, old people who actually used to work on the dredge. There are like about half a dozen of the people that used to actually run the dredge are still alive. They still live up there. And I tracked some of them now. You can actually imagine what those conversations must have been like. And so lots and lots of information from those. I did talk to young people in Sumter, young people around the area, and got their ideas and things that had happened to them that had to do with the dredge. And somewhere along the way for me, all of that information just sort of became the story. I can't remember. I really don't know what's real and what's not real anymore. And I really feel like the Skeleton Creek is Real site actually does a pretty good job of making me think about what parts were real and what parts weren't real. What did I take from what I heard and what I report, kind of like what I reported, and what parts did I take from what I created? And it's something you're going to have to do for yourself. You have to decide where you draw the line between what is truth and what is fiction. And I have to do the same thing. And I can't draw that line for you because it's so muddled at this point, both the book and that site. It's very difficult to start checking off what's real, which parts are real and which parts aren't. I mean, I'm having a hard time doing that. And that's the truth. So I think that you have to decide for yourself. We've actually set this up so that you can, we've set a place up on enterpcstudio.com. If this video has ended up on YouTube, it's enterpcstudio.com. You can go there, and there's an area of that site, which is our production site, where you can kind of decide for yourself. You can talk about it, and you can take a poll, which is, do you think it's real, or do you not think it's real? And I can't tell you. Partly, I just don't think I'm going to tell you. I think that if I had an hour, I could tell you, and you would know exactly, is it or is it not? And I could just give you a straight-up answer, it is or it isn't, but I'm just not going to do that. I don't think that's fair to the fans. I don't think it's fair to even, the story itself. So it's up to you to take what I've just given you, probably go to the SkeletonCreekIsReal.com site yourself and look through that stuff and decide for yourself what parts are real, what are the things that this guy found that actually are things that are real, you'll have to decide for yourself. I'm telling you, look, I'm a writer. I'm telling you that this is not something that was given to me, and that I made it. But, you have to decide for yourself if you think that's true or not, and whether this is the only one. I have actually a couple other things like this, that some of which I did make and some of which I didn't make. This isn't the only document like this that I have that has to do with Skeleton Creek that was collected or gathered or whatever from interviews and whatnot during the process. So I'm all obviously sounding a little bit confused myself, so I apologize for that. But all right, hopefully that gives you what you need. I know this was long, but it's the only time I'm going to do it. It's the only response I'm ever going to give to this site. And hopefully it gives you the information you need. I hope you'll check it out and get involved in the conversation, because I think it's a really, really interesting one. And I think it has a lot to do with where storytelling is going in the future. I mean, I wrote a book. I made some filmed parts. I jammed it together. And what I think is so interesting, what I love about what's happening with this Skeleton Creek is Real site, is that it is like the story has continued, but you're writing it. I mean, I did my part, and now the internet has sort of taken it. Somebody has taken it to another level, and now you guys are able to go in and put your own pieces to the puzzle in there too, and the whole story just becomes bigger and more interesting. So I love that, and I hope there's more of it. All right, I hope you enjoy your day, and thank you for taking the time to watch this and get involved. All right, have a great one. We'll see you.